morning, everyone, and welcome to CVHP News. It's Tuesday, December 3rd, and I'm Sonora Scott. First up, here's a look at what we're working on today at KLST and KSAN. It's Giving Tuesday, and folks around town are celebrating. We'll show you how later. And we're going to welcome several new American citizens in a naturalization ceremony happening this morning. We'll share more from that as well. Now to some news around town. The San Angelo Police Department held an event for the victims of burglary and theft. They could look at the items found in those investigations and potentially get their stolen items back. If you have had something stolen, police say report it immediately, and you can even do that online. Now down to the border, where a violent gun battle involving Mexican officials and suspected cartel members left 21 people dead over the weekend near the Texas-Mexico border, according to authorities. Violence like this is prominent along the border with some of the most violent cities not too far from the Rio Grande Valley. Our sister station has more.
This is the shocking video of the deadly shootout which killed 21 people near the Texas-Mexico border. 4 Mexican police officers were among those killed in an hour-long gun battle with suspected cartel members. This happened in the small town of Villa Union, a town not far from the city of Eagle Pass, Texas. While this incident is shocking to the world, this type of violence is way too common near the border. Some cities near the Rio Grande Valley made the top 50 list for the most dangerous cities in the world. Reynosa and Ciudad Victoria were among the top cities in Mexico with the highest numbers in homicides. Murder rates in Mexico have historically increased by 2% since Mexico's president, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, took office. This incident in Villa Union comes just after Obrador's first year of presidency. When asked by Telemundo 40's anchor Dalila Garza about what Obrador is doing to stop the violence in Mexico, he dodged the question.
Entonces, ¿qué se está haciendo al respecto?
Mucho, y en 2 días les informamos.
Saying he'll get back to the media in 2 days. Federal officials say there have been more than 29,000 homicides so far in 2019 compared to the 28,000 in 2018. But many human rights groups are saying the number of dead is double of that being reported, with around 50,000 killed in connection to cartel violence. Reina Luna, a journalist for Estrella Television, says many killings go unreported because Mexican journalists are afraid of the retaliation from drug cartels.
México en general, ser periodista es prácticamente.
She says being a journalist in Mexico is like having a death sentence. When it comes to the violence near the Rio Grande Valley and the Mexico border, McAllen Mayor Jim Darling says there's no telling when violence will occur.
In Mexico, it's random. It's wherever the Marines catch the bad guys. And then heck breaks loose, and if you're involved in that area, that's pretty dangerous.
And we're back with our special guest, Sergeant Justin Baker with the Department of Public Safety. Welcome. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So we're going to start something really fun. It's called Trooper Tuesday.
That's right.
Yes. So what do we say, the first and third?
Yeah,
Tuesday.
first and third.
So on Tuesdays, Justin will be here to talk about just all kinds of things and then answer your questions as well. So
Definitely.
If you have questions that you've always wanted to ask a trooper, hey, send them in and then we'll do it on Trooper Tuesday.
That's right.
So what are we talking about today?
Well, today we're going to talk about, segueing in from your previous discussion, is the safety of the holidays and being vigilant during this time of year to make sure your goods are not stolen. So that's very important.
Yeah, definitely, because big crowds, a lot of people running around everywhere, going to visit people, leaving their houses, all kinds of stuff going on and opportunities for thieves.
Well, there's a lot of things that are going to happen this time of season, and from the thefts, the burglaries, and even the chance for those terroristic threats. We want to be vigilant in every aspects of the holiday season and be on alert, and if we see anything like that, we're going to report it as soon as possible, and we're going to talk about a few ways to do that.
Okay, great.
So
go ahead.
So am I going to go ahead? All right. All right. So what we have here is the department put out a press release where we always talk about the iWatch Texas app, and what that means is with your Android or your iPhone, there's an app that you can download. It's called the iWatch Texas app. And what we want to do is we want to focus on any potential criminal activity, terroristic, or school safety related events. And so reporting that as soon as possible could be a big deterrent in anything happening where people get hurt on a mass level. And so we look for suspicious behaviors, suspicious activities. where they might have made a comment about violence and what they're going to do the next day at school or business. Leaving a manifesto on what they're going to do and what their game plan is. Or just the leaving packages and walking away, putting a package out in front of a business, parking in a no parking zone and leaving your vehicle there. There's a lot of different things, asking for the schematics of a building, taking pictures of buildings in different locations, hospitals, anything that would be suspicious activity that you wouldn't see on a day-to-day basis. That's what we want to report as soon as possible. And if it's an emergency, you need to call 911 immediately.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm glad you pointed that out, because those are things that people do, in person. We can see them, physically doing these things. But you also mentioned making threats online.
Right.
Talking about what they're going to do, on social media or on websites or on, chat rooms.
Yeah, it can be on Facebook. It can be on Snapchat. And even though it's a brief burst of information, you need to report it. And if you can screenshot it, because we don't want to have that where we think it's just a joke and we get to that normal bias of just thinking, oh, well, this isn't that serious. And it turns out it is, and you could have done something. So we shouldn't play around at all. We shouldn't make false statements where we're going to do something just to try to get people excited. No, that doesn't happen in today's society. We don't want to do that at all anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Because someone will, stand up and say, hey, that's not right. But we don't want to get to that mentality where, you're going to say something, they'll say something, they'll say something, they'll say something, and not act ourselves. Right. So everybody should report everything, that they see if it falls in these categories.
And again, if it's an emergency, we call 911 immediately.
Yeah.
So, and then going on from there to the more opportunity for burglaries or thefts in your residence or your vehicle. This time of season, we don't want to go out there in the morning and heat our car up before we leave and turn it on and walk away, because that's giving them opportunity to get into the vehicle or drive away with your vehicle. Same with leaving garage doors open. This time of year, people are going to look for that opportunity to go in there and do some 5-finger discount shopping. Yeah. And so we don't want that. Parking and retail locations where we want to make sure we have a well-lit area. If you're going to be walking back out by yourself in the evening, call somebody before you start to walk to the vehicle. Let them know. Stay on the phone while you're doing that. Have your keys ready, and again, scan the area before you start to walk out into that parking lot or wherever it might be, so you can see what might be potential for threats.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm glad you kept saying the word opportunity, because these are crimes of opportunity.
Yes.
If we, I guess, just give them, hey, here's my car, it's open and running,
they're not going to turn down a free opportunity. And we're already getting reports of that this time of year with vehicles suspiciously driving up and down alleys or in residence. Also, we have those that'll come up to your front door and act like they're selling something.
Oh, yeah.
And if you don't see those proper credentials or you don't feel safe about answering the door, don't. And again, because they could be there casing out the location, casing out your activity to see if you're going to be an easy target.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm glad you pointed that out as well, because they do have credentials. They have to register with the city, and they have to get a little badge and all that. So just being aware. I feel like this is a big message, being aware.
A time of rejoicing and families being together, but we also have to stay vigilant and watch out. And take care of each other. And if you see that and you see somebody left their garage door open, call them. Yeah. Go knock on the door. And that's one of those things that I've done in my community many times. Sometimes it's probably too much, and they're like, wow. But they say thank you every time. And so it's just one of those things where we need to look out for each other and just try to make sure we're taking care of ourselves and each other.
Definitely. It's kind of one of those better be to be safe than sorry types of...
We don't want to cry wolf, but at the same time, we don't want to be preyed upon.
Yeah, exactly. So. Well, awesome. What else do we have?
Well, we can't stress that enough with the safety and the iWatch app. It has been very useful in circumventing a lot of threats, and it came about about a year and a half ago. And so it's been great. It's been around, and every program that I get to go and give, that's one of the things I point out immediately is download that app. And you can also go on, if you don't have the phone and you don't want to use an app, you can go to www.iwatchtexas, which is IWATCHTX KSAN-TV.org. Or you can call 844-643-2251. And I'll do that again without messing that up. It's going to be 844-643-2251.
Okay.
And you can report it. You can be anonymous, or you can give your information, and that way they can do a follow-up call.
Yeah, and that's good. I think a lot of people, maybe they're scared of being identified, so they can leave it anonymously.
And we understand that.
Yeah.
But with the same time, if you can leave that information to call back, we can do that follow-up, and that's also very helpful.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, it's so easy, the app, the website, it's so easy to report.
I really like the fact that they have a area on there specifically for school-related threats. And me having kids in 2 different schools, and my wife is a teacher, those are definitely the ones we want followed up, and it's the same for everybody and in their families. But having that specifically for school-related threats, because we don't want our kids getting hurt, or the teachers or anybody when they're taking care of our kiddos.
Yeah, and sadly, I mean, this is becoming a common thing.
Yeah, we don't want that to become a common thing,
but
it's unfortunate we're to the point where it's almost not a surprise anymore when we read it in the papers or see it on the news. But we want to see that become not the norm.
Exactly.
So we want to stay vigilant in every aspect of knowing what people are saying, even if they act like it's a joke. That's not a joke.
It's not a joke, definitely.
Yeah.
And it should be reported,
yes.
even though it's just a joke.
And there's going to be consequences, and there should be consequences for that type of behavior, because we don't want to desensitize the public and our friends and peers to where this should be a normal occurrence.
Yeah, and it's a difficult conversation to have, but it is one you should definitely have. It is difficult,
but I go around to many businesses and schools giving a CRAZE, Civilian Response to Active Shooter Event program, and it's free. You call the department, we'll get it scheduled, and it gives everybody the understanding that we want to be prepared. We want to script and practice in our own way till we know what the environment is, to where we can react and get out of harm's way as soon as possible.
Yeah, exactly. Because a lot of folks, they just go to work every day. We're all guilty of it. We just go to work, but do we know what to do?
And that's what it's all about, is that we're going to have a game plan every time, anywhere we go, that we're going to know we can do something instead of nothing.
Yeah, exactly. I like that. Do something instead of nothing.
Right.
Wonderful.
And the quote of Theodore Roosevelt: in the moment of decision, the best thing you can do is the right thing.
Yeah.
The next best thing is the wrong thing. But the worst thing you can do is nothing. And so we don't want to do nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for all this.
I love it. I'm glad to be here. I really want those questions coming in.
Yeah.
If anything you want to know in regards of traffic safety, public safety, what law enforcement is all about, what the department's all about, what you can do to become a state trooper, we're here, and we're going to answer those questions, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, a lot of fun conversations to be had on Trooper Tuesday.
Yes.
So, you know what, before we go, let's actually, everybody pretty much knows this guy. I feel like he's out and about.
I'm around.
Yeah, going to businesses, schools, all that. But for those who maybe haven't met you before, go ahead and give us a little bio about yourself.
Well, I'm going on my 18th year with the Texas Department of Public Safety. I originally came from Abilene, Texas, where I graduated high school. Upon graduation from recruit school, I went to Ozona for the first 2.5 years. Then San Angelo is now home, and I've been here for the rest of the career. I plan to be here the rest of the career. I have a beautiful wife, Nikki Baker. She's a teacher out at Great Creek. I have 2 beautiful daughters, Kinsley and Nicole Baker. She's a freshman at Central Freshman Campus, and my youngest, the beautiful Kara Baker, is a 7th grader at Lee Middle School, and very active family. We're very involved in the community, and just grateful to be here and be the safety education trooper, and you'll be doing this right now.
You don't like your family at all, do you?
Very proud.
You don't
very,
like
very
them
proud.
So. Well, awesome, and that's a great thing, because you're here to stay, so
yes.
you want to get involved as much as you can, and
definitely,
and we want you to get involved as much as
call
possible.
And ask.
Yeah. Call, ask questions. We'll write them down. Send us messages on our social media pages. Yeah, call the department.
Yep. And if you need to get a hold of me directly, I'll give that number out there. I'm not afraid to answer the phone. It's 325-315-2362. Set up programs or anything you want, or you can email me at justin.baker, justin.baker, BAKER, at dps.texas, spelled out, .gov, G-O-V.
Yeah.
Yep.
Long email address, but
Yeah.
but you'll get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he answers. So, well, thanks again for coming on. This is going to be a fun segment. Again, Trooper Tuesday, so submit all of your questions, thoughts, concerns, ideas, all of that. We want to hear it. Anything else to the people?
Oh, thank y'all, and be safe.
Great. Be safe. Perfect way to end it. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you.